Last time, on Sailing Kittiwake, we hunkered down for some strong winds on Menorca. In this episode, we endure the heavy weather for 6 days at anchor. On day 7, the wind turns 180 degrees, putting us on the lee shore, which means we have to escape in 30-knot winds. So it's 7:30 and Ryan woke me up because he wanted to come to shore because there's no wind for a couple of hours. And the next few days are meant to be the worst of it, of the gale. So I literally brushed my teeth and I'm still wearing my bed socks, which are Santa socks. But hopefully we can go see some cool stuff around here. There's meant to be a really good lagoon just behind the beach.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. Tear this wall apart to let you in.
Looks like we came back just on time. It's really gusty at the moment.
So you can see here the anchorage that we're in. It's really well protected from the east. And then if I zoom in, you can see the track that the boat is following as it swings around on its anchor. So it's just kind of painting this bit of pink track, and you can see it hasn't really moved at all. Our Manson anchor is really well dug in, and she's just swinging around kind of over here. So you can't really see it on the camera, but we can see open sea out there, and it looks pretty rough. There's a lot of white horses. It's definitely pretty strong and horrible out there. So this boat next to us came in the middle of the night, so I'm guessing they had a pretty rough time of it. But no, maybe not, because this morning it wasn't too bad anyway. But yeah, it's nice being tucked up in here and it being nice and calm, and then being able to see out there that it's obviously pretty rough.
What a way to go. What we don't know isn't worth a dime, and we need them all. I know you're the worrying kind. Is there any way, or do you like not being found? In time the light will fade. Don't you know I worry about you all the time? Oh, oh, oh. Anytime you wanna leave tonight, love, morning comes and goes, but I'll always be your shoulder to lean on. Shoulder to lean on. What a way to go. This incarnation is really wild. The air is getting warm. I know you're the one.
This is day 5 of being stuck in this anchorage in high winds. We're going a little bit crazy, got a bit of cabin fever. We managed to get ashore on, I think, maybe the first or second day.
Yeah.
And the anchorage has been really well protected from the swell in general. But when the wind dies down, there's a bit of like reflected swell off the far side of the anchorage which sends the boat rolling around. So we haven't been sleeping super well, and we basically just spent 5 days sat around in our pyjamas trying to think of stuff to do. There's only so much passage planning you can do.
There's only so much video editing you can do before going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and because it's been cloudy, we've been struggling a bit because we get most of our electricity from the solar panel. So we gave in today. We caved in and ran the engine for an hour and a bit to charge the batteries so that we can charge our laptops, so that we can do some editing.
Camera batteries.
Once we set off again, we're going to be hopefully sailing, because we need to really. So we need to make up this time that we can sat around, bored out of our brains. But it could be a lot worse. We could be sat in an office in Manchester in much worse weather. But yeah, we're going a little bit crazy. Nearly there though. I think tonight it should drop to pretty much 0, and then tomorrow morning it should switch to westerly. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we chose where we were anchored. So this is Menorca as a whole. We were down around here somewhere when we got the forecast. And the forecast called for winds from east, northeast and southeast, all around 25, gusting up to 35, and for a short period gusting up to 50. So because it was from the east, originally we went round here and started looking at these colours for protection, because they would be really well protected from the east, because you've obviously got the whole of Menorca between you and the sea. So we went into a couple of these and had a look. They were really small, and sometimes it's hard to tell from the chart how small an anchorage is, but when you get in there you realise that it's just not right. So then we went up around the northwest corner and ended up here in Cala del Algerians. So this has been the forecast for most of the time we were here. You can see it's really strong from the northeast. So if I show you our anchorage in more detail, you can see that where we are, which is exactly here, so that spot there, it's well protected from the northeast, but what we're getting is swell bouncing off this wall and then hitting us here. We kind of knew that that might happen, but we found that when the wind has been above 10 knots, the boat's been held really steady and really well. One of the best things about this anchorage though is the holding. The holding's been excellent. With we have got a big next generation anchor, so it bit in right away and we knew it was really, really solid. So we know the boat's been completely safe the whole time. It's just been a tiny bit uncomfortable. How did you sleep?
On and off. It was a bit rolly, so I came onto this berth, which is the sea berth, but pulled out so I'd have more space. Today we can finally escape this anchorage.
We loved it when we showed up and it was sunny.
It was so amazing when we got here, and now I can't wait to get out of here because it takes a little bit of rain, a little bit of cloud, a little bit of cold and wet to make it look like the UK. Like, oh god, I can't wait. It's the 6th day. Well, actually we had 5 days of strong winds. We arrived the day before, I think. So 7 days in here, and I think it's 6 AM, 6:15, and we're just gonna head out as soon as it's light.
How's your morning going?
It's good. We had a bit of a gnarly situation where we were on a lee shore with 30 knots of wind, which...
Pulling up the anchor.
And pulling up the anchor in 30 knots of wind. And I could see the depth was 2.5 meters and we're 1.8. I didn't tell Ryan, he was stressed enough. But yeah, now we have between 25 and 34 knots of wind. Trying to put it on the stern once we clear these headlands that are just to my starboard. And yeah, we're gonna try and find shelter if we can. I've no idea what we'll do if we can't, to be honest. Gonna come up with a plan. We didn't realise it was gonna be this horrible out here. We thought a little bit later there would be about 20 knots of wind, which, you know, is usually fine, but yeah, we get gusts of 35, so...
It's like this now, it might feel to even more later.
Yeah, it might be worse later. I mean, there have been some pretty big waves, and we were on the Beam Reach, and that was an adventure. Whee! We have about 27 knots of wind at the moment, doing 5 knots of speed with the staysail alone. It's a little bit rolly because it's from the back, but it's okay. It feels very much under control.
We're sailing along pretty nicely here. We've got the staysail out on a broad reach, but well, the boat's dealing really well with the seas and stuff, and it's pretty comfy. But the problem we're having is that it's still really cloudy, and obviously now we're using the autopilot. It's draining a lot of electricity. It's only an hour, so I don't really want to put the hydroplane on and faff around with that, and we're quite close into the coast as well. So we're running the engine to charge the batteries, so that's wind channel, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, we haven't really got much of another option. We're probably about halfway to a big headland where we should get a lot of protection from the seas, and from there we can either go down into the really narrow cala, which would be really well protected but might be a bit sketchy getting into in this wind, or we can go into a bigger Anchorage which is next to it and then just wait there. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Both of them should be protected, and once we get around the headland we should be in calm enough seas that we can sit and figure it out. Eleanor's in fancy dress as Captain Haddock.
So much
What a
for
sailing
sexy
channel,
sailors.
babe.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go viral with this. Sexy bikinis, cocktails. Oh yeah.
Doesn't look much like the Med, huh? It's more like the English Channel.
Yeah. We made it into Fornells. We tried to anchor, but the holding is very poor, so we just picked up a mooring ball instead. And we'll see how much it is. We read it might be 29 euros, but this is not high season, so I hope less. But anyway, should be here 1 or 2 nights, no longer than that, and we really need to go buy some groceries, so what can we do? Yeah, we're gonna jump in the dinghy and go get some food. Thanks for watching. Go on and leave us a comment if you like this video. You can also support our production through Patreon. Join us next time as we are cheated again by the forecast and end up going out in 50 knot gusts.